Good afternoon, Panthers. We are back on your Prep Talk podcast. I am your host, Shayna Davis, and we are here with CeNia and CeNae Wilkins and Keshaun Hudson. Please go around and say what grade you're in.
I'm a 10th. I'm a CeNia.
I'm CeNae, and I'm a 10th.
Well, y'all twins, so we can see that.
I'm Keshaun, and I'm in 12th grade.
Okay. All right. What's up? How you guys doing? This
We
is our
good. I'm missing
second.
practice for this, but
I'm missing a good
I'm
run
excited
today.
to be here.
I'm amazing.
Okay. How are you, Keshaun?
I'm all right. A little crippled, a little hurt, but I'm here.
Want to tell us what happened?
Dance class. I was trying to be sweet, so I won't do that no more.
All right. So the first thing on our agenda is talking about our midwinter break. Now we all know that our midwinter break was about a week ago. We had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday off.
Right.
So how was that for everybody?
I got to sleep all day.
I felt that it was good. I got to rest.
Gotta take a mental break. Yeah, I felt it. Yeah.
My midwinter break was. I didn't really sleep that much actually. I was preparing for senior night, which was just past Friday. Which is our last day cheering, and so we was preparing our dance for that. I came and watched a couple basketball games, girls basketball and boys. So
Team manager.
Kept myself busy. Yes, I'm a team manager.
Okay, that's straight. I was doing the exact same thing as Keshaun because I am also a cheerleader.
Me too.
Oh yeah,
We all
Speaking of cheerleading, we are all cheerleaders in this room. Keshaun, you are the only senior, so how does it feel to be graduating and not being able to cheerlead anymore?
It's kind of like a good and bad experience. It's like, well, not really bad, but more so like bittersweet. Because I've grown to actually love the cheer team. I remember when I was in ninth grade, and my friend Jayna always told me like, try out for the cheer team with me. I'm like, no, I do dance. Like I'm good, and that was always just because I underestimated myself, even though I knew like you can make this team. Like you could. There's certain things that I like still to this day that I don't know how to do, but I give it my all. I feel like when I do it, so that it's just bittersweet to know that once I finally joined it, it's like it's over so soon.
Right.
But I'm glad that I got to leave my mark on everybody and just see everybody grow. And I can't wait to see what the next seniors and the seniors after that do. 'Cause I'm going to be here for y'all, of course.
That's cool because I know that I'm a junior. I was the only junior on the team this year, and next year will be my last year cheering. I started cheering at this school anyway. I started cheering my 10th grade year. I started cheering. I cheered for U Prep my 6th grade year. Then I stopped because I ended up breaking my arm. So when I got to high school, I got a feel for it. And Jeffries was like, "You joining the cheer team?" I said, "Yeah, I'm joining the cheer team." I was like, "You already know." So, I'm sad that it's gonna be my last year, but hey. But okay, so twins. My question is, you guys both do, well, actually, all three of you all do cheer and dance at the same time. Now, I know you had to balance two different practices at two different times. How was that trying to memorize dances and dances and halftimes and cheers throughout the season? How could y'all manage that? Because I want to join dance company next year.
I never really had a problem with it because I was so used to going to multiple practices and
Right.
doing different things. So it was
it
was normal for
I
me.
just have a wonderful memory. It's so amazing.
I think for me, it was more about determination. It has been a lot of times when like I don't know, like sometimes I let my grades slip because I just like I'm so focused on what I want to do. That's like, well, Keshaun, you got to focus on what you need to do as well. You got to make sure that your grades is good too. But I think that it gives me a chance to like learn how to multitask. Because going into college, I know it's not going to be easy. So I think that this is it's like I prepare myself almost, but it's definitely a challenge in itself. Just having the energy to get up and be like, oh, I'm going to 2 practices today. Like that is so tiring.
Right.
And then like literally back to back after each other. Or then to be like, I'm going to 2 practices and then work and then, then I'm going to get home. So it's like, sometimes I just got to learn how to prioritize.
Right, because you're going to be getting home to like
11.
9, 10,
and then like when I go to work,
night.
I get home at 11. And it's just like,
Especially
I'm not doing no homework.
Days. Especially on game days, because and you tired. We cheering on the sidelines for what? All 3 games, matter of fact, because we cheer for girls, JV boys, and varsity boys. And then I didn't get home till 11, wasn't getting into bed till 12. Had to turn around and get up at 5:30 in the morning and help get my brothers up. And, that can take a toll on a person. But I feel like I've done pretty good as well as managing that. And as far and with my grades,
period.
I definitely think that I could do better in some aspects, but I think that
there's always room for improvement.
Yeah, definitely.
Always. Yeah. Okay, so next on our agenda is the award show.
Ooh.
So we seen that there were a lot of kids on the honor roll this year. So shouts out to all grades. Grades.
Congratulations.
All grades. But I want to give on this podcast, I want to give you guys a special shout out, the dance company, period, because that was powerful.
I feel so special.
Like, y'all had me in tears. I cannot cap. Like, y'all had me bawling out, crying.
Thank you so much. And shout out to Takira.
Her choreography.
Yes.
She's also a senior, and she choreographed our whole dance to Stand Up, which is a song that is played in the movie Harriet. So shouts out to her, because she definitely put her all into that dance, and we tried our best to perform it the way that she wanted it to look.
She took me under her arm, under her wing last year. I can't because if y'all remember that we used to do plays and stuff for the school.
Oh yeah.
Last year was a student written play by Tariq Topi.
Yeah.
I feel so pretty.
That was not it. That was our final. But no, we had a play that we all put our input.
Wasn't like What Goes Down in the Kitchen?
Yes, it's called What Goes Down in the Kitchen.
I remember that.
I thought that
Kyra.
was the one, but it was the one with Eric.
Yes,
Okay,
Eric
I
was
like that one.
Yep, we was in a black box. Takira was the one who choreographed those dances. She took me under her wing, and I got to learn
Shout
from
out.
one of the
Shout
best.
out to her. She's amazing.
Amazing. I love her for real. Like, she's like family. I've known her since middle school. There's this bond there. But so yeah, you guys did an amazing job, and I also want to say one thing, that mental health situation, there's always help around in school. There's always someone almost 24/7 that you can contact to get help from. If you need it, please admit it and get help.
Yes. And go, I don't know all the details on when it's starting, but go support my friend Maya. And she started this program called We Support You, and it's basically just about mental health and everything. And she definitely had her own story, and I feel like now she's using that as a testimony to go and show people that there's people around the school and just people in general that do care about you, and they're here for you no matter what. So definitely go and look into that around campus. And Mr. Hughes, he's the biggest help.
The biggest help.
Like,
he is a huge helping hand. Yep. So shout out to her.
Yes.
Because,
shout out to Maya, period. That's awesome.
Man, she had my heart pounding because I went through the exact same thing. Maybe not
exactly
well, let me not use the word exact, because I did go through my fair share of suicide attempts. I ended up going to the mental hospital. Actually, I started my journey in middle school. And all throughout middle school and the beginning of high school, I had finished my therapy my 10th grade year, the middle of 10th grade year. Yes. And I kept it a secret for so long. And this year was I feel is my milestone year. So I feel that I am able to share my story and get it across to people who need help.
Yes, and I think that that's best because I don't necessarily think that that's something that I've been through personally, you know, to the extent. But I definitely think that depression is like a lead-in, like the start of a lot of things.
Yes.
And I think that I think that it's good to know that it's other people out there that go through the same things that you do, that you're not alone, that you know, you can have people that you can talk to, whether you know them or not, because the strangers really be the most understanding people because they know.
Yes.
It's not somebody that's around you that's like, oh, girl, you straight.
Right.
Oh, you'll be all right.
Right.
Like, no, you actually want to hear what I have to say because you know that you feel the same way sometimes. So I feel like that's definitely helpful.
And I do want to note that there are multiple things that can lead to depression because I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and PTSD. And for those of you who don't know what PTSD means, it's post-traumatic stress disorder.
Okay. Disorder.
So, yep. I went through a very, very traumatic experience when I was 9 years old, and it led to my teenage years, and I'm just now, you know, being able to deal with it. I was on medicine, and, you know, I was on suicide watch, everything. So that was a very, very hard time, but I made it through.
That's good.
Yep.
That is good.
All the time.
I want to congratulate you because that was so fun.
Yes.
I'm glad you came out of your comfort zone.
Thank
and didn't
you.
keep it in.
You
Keep
know.
it to yourself. Don't cry.
I'm not about to. I'm not. I'm good. I'm good. Okay. So our last topic of the day before we get to our guest choice. Our last topic of the day before we get to our guest choice is Black History Month. Our month, our beautiful, wonderful, inspiring, inspirational month is about to end. And I felt like I learned every year, February, I learned something that I didn't know in the previous year.
Yeah, most definitely.
So we could take the time just for a minute to share something that we didn't know. So my thing is, I learned who the first Black female actress was. Her name is Hattie McDaniel. For those of you who don't know, Hattie McDaniel played as Mammy in the movie Mammy. So you can Google that and look up who Hattie McDaniel is.
Okay. I think that I always learn something new, and I feel like not just in February, but just period. As far as my Black culture goes, last year was a very big year for me because I had Mr. Ray, which was my world history teacher,
Right.
and he finds a way. Yes, he's the best teacher ever, and he always finds a way to connect it to Black culture, whether we learning about white culture or not. Because I feel like throughout the year, we always just learn about, you know, what white people went through. And not saying that's a problem, but just it's good to know where you come from as well. And I think that he finds a very good way of blending them in and mixing. This is how what the white people did affected you. So you can know that you were a part of this too. It wasn't like it was just no Black people around and you was just on the back burner.
Yes.
But something that I learned today was that there are more Black men in college than in prisons, which makes me happy.
Yes.
Because I would have never thought, and if somebody would have asked me, I could have never told them. I would have definitely picked prison. But I'm glad to know that there's Black men and just Black people in general out there that are getting educations and venturing off to see better things. And for people that are scared to go, or like me, I'm kind of scared to go to college, but I'm going to go. I'm just tell y'all, from me to you, don't ever give up.
Right.
Always put your best foot forward and find something that you like, because there's jobs everywhere. You can do anything.
Right.
And it's just good to go and educate yourself. Don't be lost and just feeling like just dumb to the world. It's always something that you can know.
Right. Twins? Y'all have nothing? That's okay.
Actually, I don't. But hey, I just learned something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so next is our guest choice, and this is about anything that you want to say to your fellow classmates, anything that you want to talk about, anything in the world.
To my senior class, please get it together. Please.
I feel like it's everybody, not just the seniors, but
I
the
feel
freshmen,
like the ninth graders
and
worse.
the 10th graders as well.
I think that it's just hard. I think that for ninth graders especially, because I remember me being a ninth grader, and then I feel like from then to now, like just looking back, I'm like, wow, my 4 years have passed. Like high school's over so soon, and it's just I remember the mindset that I came into ninth grade with. And if you come in with friends, it's hard.
Yeah.
Because it's like you just want to socialize in a bigger place where they give you a little bit more freedom than they did in middle school. Yeah, like ooh, new place. Like yeah. I had an advantage for me because I had only went to the middle school for 1 year in 8th grade. Before then I lived in Las Vegas, so I didn't know too many people. So when I moved back here, it was just like, oh, I know you, but we're not that close. Mm-hmm. And then going through bridge and then just coming into ninth grade, it was just like I was more focused on my grades because I didn't have any distractions, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I feel like one thing that's important for ninth graders to know, the freshmen anywhere, not just here, is just don't let your friends be a distraction to you, whether they mean to or not. Always remember that your education comes first and that it's more important for you to have your grades together, because one thing that I always wanted them, I know my mama always wanted for me, was for me to be able to choose where I want to go for college and not let the colleges choose me.
Right.
And I feel like that I didn't listen, and I was hard-headed, and I mean, that's just something that I had to deal with now, 4 years later. But to prevent for somebody else doing it, like, keep your grades up. Your cumulative is the most important thing, because they don't know you. They don't know that you're a nice person or that you're a good kid or that you mean well. They know what your SAT score says and what your GPA says, and it defines you.
Right.
And you can write a letter all you want, but they want what make them look good. Right. And that's just that. And that's just all colleges. It just is what it is.
Life.
So I just feel like just make sure that you stay focused. At the end of the day, you remember what your most important, what your reason for coming to school every day is, right, and not your friends or, the gossip or the drama. Just stay focused, because it's going to pay off in the end. Like, I really wish that I could have chose to go to Michigan State, even though I'm going to Eastern, so period. But I wish that I could have went to a bigger school if I would have just, stayed on my stuff. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. I know time is most definitely flying, because it felt like just yesterday I was on the dance team,
yes,
Elite Youth.
Yes.
We was practicing in the yellow building, getting ready to perform. Now, all of a sudden, I'm getting ready to enter my senior year.
That is just crazy.
Then I'm not going to be able to see y'all
3 months from graduation. This is unbelievable.
Man. And it's like, sometimes your parents are right when they say them friends that you have in high school, you're not going to see them once you graduate. Because I know for a fact I'm going to be 2 hours away. I'm going to be at Grand Valley State University.
Period.
That's where I want to go. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to see some of y'all. No, no shade, nothing, but, life is life, right?
Yeah, and that's definitely true. You got to use high school as a stepping stone. You are that's something that I'm still learning how to do today. To just not necessarily use people as a way to come up, but just like people are either going to be lessons or blessings in your life. Right. So you have to use them sometimes as a way to just better yourself, because if they were meant to be, then they would. And I feel like you meet a lot of those in high school. Like, you meet a lot of people that are just temporary, but they always teach you something. So pay attention, because they always gonna teach you something. They just might not be there for that long.
Right. All right. I want to thank you guys for being my guests on this podcast. Right. I'm our senior. Right. Okay. So thank you guys, and we will see you next time on the Prep Talk podcast.